the gatekeeper who arranged appearances, who is a monk, was taken vow of celibacy. Amid the accusations, Donda was replaced. Accusations of corruption, Donda was replaced by... Wow. I have a joke, but I don't know if I can say it. I don't want the Dalai Lama to curse me or whatever. I imagine as after the sexual relationship between with Lama she had sexual relationship with Lama Tenzin Doden, who made a vow of celibacy. I want to make a joke, but I don't know if I can about a monk, because I was baptized by a monk when I was a kid. When I was a baby, I was baptized by a monk. So I don't know if I can make the joke or not. So I don't know if I can. I really don't want to do it, because the man who baptized me as a monk was a friend of the family, and he did a lot of artwork. He did like wood. He did paintings of flowers on wood, and he gave it to like the family as a gift. So I don't want to do the joke. So, but I don't think he was a monk like the Dalai Lama. So I ain't gonna do the joke, because I don't want to find out like he was a monk like Dalai Lama, and I'd be like, I regret that joke. So, anyway. In 2009, the Dalai Lama traveled to Albany to give a talk at an event presented Raniere with a white scarf on stage. The Dalai Lama additionally wrote a foreword to the book. I've never read the book, which Raniere co-authored in 2009. Prior to that year, Raniere has co-authored his first book, Odin and the Sphinx. Oh, Odin and the Sphinx. I thought it was going to be Odin and the Sphinx. I was like, what the... They showed a picture of the branding, which is really disturbing, so... How old is Dalai Lama, anyway? I know he's been alive since, like, I think when the... How old is Dalai Lama? "84 years old. Damn. So anyway. I want to get to the branding. I know a lot of you are like, well, you're skipping through parts. I'm going to be like, well, skipping through some of them is kind of, the point, to make it interesting, because if you ever read some of this stuff, it's really disturbing. It's kind of like asking somebody, if you ever read the court files and documents of everything of Charles Manson, you'd be like, no, it's kind of boring. But some of this stuff I really want to skip, because it's really... I will say this one. I'll read this one. 2015. Keith Raniere personally sued AT&T and Microsoft, alleging that they had infringed on his patents following The case was dismissed with prejudice. The trial court ruled that Raniere conducted throughout the litigations of giving untruthful testimony. At the hearing, the motion was dismissed. A pattern of obstruction and bad faith, Raniere was sanctioned in order to pay $450,000 to his attorneys. He tried to sue AT&T and Microsoft. AT&T, of course, owns Warner Brothers, and I think there's a little show on that was produced by Warner Brothers. What was it? Oh yeah, Smallville. So, oh shit, this one came in the news. Marvel is sued for ripping off X-Men the Animated Series theme song. Wow. Damn. By the way, that's the theme song to X-Men. Wow. That's pretty cool. Anyway. According to in June 5th, 2017, Frank Palford of the Frank Report was the first to report that there was a secret society called DOS, which we will cover in tomorrow's episode, known as the women known as slaves were branded with a hot carving pen with Raniere's initials. On October 18th, 2017, New York Times has published a story about the slaves' branding, and that the slaves were required to provide nude photographs and other potential damaging information about themselves if they wished to join. Why would they do that? I have no idea why. I don't know why you would give away something that will potentially damage your life and everything to it. I mean, I do believe that Scientology did the same thing to others. I do believe that Scientology has a lot of files, even though they admitted to it. One former higher-up of it admitted that there is private files and documents that can blackmail people, and other private recordings as well, which they recorded people doing the what is it? Sort of like I forget what it's called, like the confession thing, where they hold like these two electro bars and they scan their heartbeat and stuff to see if they're telling the truth or not. I do believe that they did that. I believe they have stuff on people in Scientology. As for this one, I am deeply kind of disturbed by it. I am surprised that they did this. I'm surprised they took... I remember there was like a documentary. One woman admitted... It wasn't a documentary, it was a news report. She admitted that she took private photos of herself and sent them to Allison Mack, who sent them to Keith Raniere. And it is very disturbing of it. And I am really, really disturbed by it. So, at the trial, prosecution introduced a 2016 recording of a private meeting with DOS slaves in which Raniere acknowledged that the branding was a monogram, and it has right now it has many initials. It has my initials. Sorry, the branding is a monogram. As of right now, it is very directly related to my initials. The group discussed how obscure The connections are to Ranieri's initials. At Ranieri's trial, DOS members Nicole recalled that when she and Ranieri discussed her decision to leave the group, he commanded, "You guys think you have the right? You guys think you have it so bad, but there's nothing compared to the other subcultures." In the wake of the article, Ranieri fled to Mexico accompanied with a few members of his inner circle, one of them being Allison Mack. Allison Mack and her, I'm going to use the air quote, her wife, Nicole Klein. For those who don't know, Allison Mack married actress Nicole Klein, so Nicole Klein wouldn't leave the country. And a lot of people say the marriage is a sham and stuff, so. So anyway. I want to cover also, since I'm covering Keith Raniere, I'm going to cover the other person who also has their initials in the branding. And that is Allison Mack. For those who don't know, Allison Mack played Coley Sullivan, Clark Kent's best friend in Smallville, and they starred together in the show Smallville. They also met her and Smallville castmate Sam Jones III also appeared in R.L. Stein's The Nightmare Room, which I remember that show. So, anyway, like I said, and that Allison Mack married actress Nicole Klein in 2017, but the marriage is alleged to be a sham to get around the U.S. immigration laws so that Klein wouldn't leave. Klein was a Canadian, so she couldn't leave the country, But it only became public 1 year later, alleged that legal proceedings of the conspiracy and racketeering charges and part of the involvement in NXIVM. It was also revealed that Mack, along with former high-ranking NXIVM member Lauren Saltzman, were Raniere's sexual partners. In 2010, Mack was reported to be recruited into the Vancouver chapter of the multi-level organization NXIVM, along with her Smallville co-star Kirsten Cook. In a 2003 article, Forbes portrayed NXIVM as a focused, inspirational, exercising coaching, basically like a practical MBA, with Keith Raniere as the leader, as they called it, a cult-like running program, amid to break down his subjects pathologically. The group has practiced by branding their victims, which was first created by Allison Mack. She created the branding, which she did. She created the whole branding of the program, branding Raniere and her initials into them, into the women. Basically, the reason of it is, I remember there was like one part in the news thing, I wish I could find it, was the actress who, one of the actresses who were there, she was recruited by Mack to be in it, was told to take photos of them being branded, and Mack was sent the photos of it. And, it was just really disturbing. Doesn't really surprise me. Former NXIVM member Sarah Edsman, that's her name, that's the one who did it, was in a 2017 New York Times expose. And the A&E special on cults, Mack recruited her into the enslaved